Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another deck reveal. This is going to be some mass mutation. Got it on sale, so that was cool. Didn't get a ton, so gonna slow drip this, but wanted to do some openings while we're still waiting for Winds of Exchange. And as of recording this, I still have not gotten my daughter to sit down and record her awesome Winds of Exchange deck with me, so I still owe you all that. But we'll see if we can get it done soon. Just priorities, you know. All right, so let's see if I can get the name out first. There it is. Ooh, cool, cool. I like the black and white archons. Okay, so this is the Swarming Outlaw of Lavavale. Well, Swarming suggests Untamed. Outlaw suggests Shadows. Maybe Dis. Lavavale would make me think Brobnar, but there's no Brobnar in Mass Mutation, so let's say maybe there will be Sanctum. Ah, Saurian would have been my other choice. Wow. Could have gotten it right, but missed it. So it's Untamed, Shadows, and Saurian. Okay, and yeah, really cool Archon there. Archon picture. So what I'm looking for is in the Untamed, just straight out burst. Love the Fangtooth Key Frog combo. That, you know, unlikely, but I love it if it happens. Um, Shadows should have some some amber control. Since it's mass mutation, we don't expect scaling amber control, but still some consistent amber control maybe. And then we have Saurian that could provide some capture and cost increase and things like that, as well as some board presence. Could be some good board presence in the Untamed as well. Okay, let's get to it. Starting out with Saurian, we have Axiom of Grisk, solid ward control. This one got a capture icon on it. You ward a creature, and then you destroy each creature that doesn't have amber on it, and you get 2 chains. Nice, important board control. We've got a Faust that pairs really well with the Axiom. I love the capture on the Axiom. That's actually super good. That's really good pit placement. 2 Fausts, and Faust, by the way, is 4-power dinosaur that says your opponent's keys cost +1 for each friendly creature with amber on it, and when you play it, you may exalt a friendly creature. This Faust got a capture, so again, very good, very solid. It means you can exalt and do the capture to increase the cost by 2 when you play it if you have another creature, or you can get the capture and increase the cost that way and not have to exalt. Galeatops, don't love that. 12 power beast that only deals 4 damage when fighting. That's a pretty significant drawback, but that's okay. It's another body. Sagittarius Gaze is an action with an amber that enhances a damage. We haven't seen that enhancement yet. And when you play it, you exalt a damaged creature. Whoa, Ancient Power. That's also going to be great. Ancient Power is an action with an amber. When you play it, you ward each friendly creature with amber on it. That's really good with the Faust, really good with capture icons. And if you use it in conjunction with Axiom, you can essentially what ends up happening is, let's say you have a bunch of creatures with amber on them, a creature without amber. You can ward the creature without the amber with Axiom to prevent killing it, and then use Ancient Power to ward all your creatures. Or you just end up with all your creatures warded at the end if they all have amber. Very, very nice. Dark Centurion. This is where potentially where the captures came from. It's a 5-power mutant soldier with enhanced 2 captures, and it has action, move an amber from a creature to the common supply if you do ward that creature. So this is a good way to start deleting that amber. Although of course you can always reap the action. Remove 1 that you've captured is not great, but that ward is nice. So it just depends on the situation. Wow, and we got another we have another Dark Centurion, this with a capture icon put on it. That is very nice. Siren Horn is an upgrade with an amber, and it gives the creature before fight move an amber from this creature to the creature it fights. That's interesting to have with the Dark Centurions because it means that sometimes you would rather fight to get rid of the amber, but it also means if you're capturing onto, I wish I had tribute, right? Because you could theoretically capture a lot onto one creature, have the Siren Horn on it, ward it with the Dark Centurion to remove one amber, and then fight with it to put another amber on the creature it's fighting. That could be a cool combo, but we don't have that. So for 3 more cards in Saurian here. Stomp. This is a great card. It's an action with an amber. It got a damage on it, and when you play it, you deal 5 damage to a creature, and if the damage destroys the creature, you exalt a friendly creature. But this is really good spot removal. Good. That pairs nicely with the Axiom. Monument to Faust is an artifact. It's a location, and when you action it, keys cost +1 during your opponent's next turn. But if you have Faust the Great in your discard pile, keys cost +2 instead. And we have 2 Fausts, which is nice because we could even have one on the board and still one to fire this. And then our last card in Saurian is a Technosaurus. It's a 5-power mutant dinosaur. With play, you may exalt it if you do deal 3 damage to a creature, and then reap, discard a card from your hand if you do draw a card. This is really nice. I like this because I love the reap effect. And on a 5-power creature, it's actually meaningful. The play effect is also very good spot removal. You don't have to fire it if you don't need it. And we have ways to mitigate that capture. So that's really good. 6 creatures is probably the most I would want here. I would love to trade the Galeatops for something else. But everything else in here is doing work. And we can play nice little shell games with that amber. So yeah, I like that Saurian setup. High on the creature count. I hope that we stay low on the creature count in the other houses. I don't mind seeing a Bonithing though. We're in Shadows now. Bonithing is a 2-power elf thief. With play, steal 1 amber for each forged key your opponent has. Very good late game. Very good in combination with a card like Safe House if we happen to get it. But we'll see. I don't expect this deck to have a ton of speed, so it really is going to be, it's likely to be the case that we need to draw this at the right moment. Okay, Nexus is a 3-power cyborg thief with elusive and reap. Use an enemy artifact as if it were yours. That's interesting sort of artifact interaction. Probably not control, it just depends on the situation. 2 Nexus, okay, and I'm unhappy with the creature count so far, but we'll see how it goes. 2 Nexus is interesting. That can be hard to deal with. Don't mind seeing Radpenny. It's a 1-power mutant thief with play, steal 1, and when it's destroyed, you shuffle it into your deck. That's very nice. Unfortunately, only 1. I would love to see multiple Radpennies, but 1 is fun. And it is really nice to have it with Seeker Needle. This Seeker Needle has a capture icon on it. That's interesting. I like having capture icons on cards that can recycle. Like I'd much rather have it on the Radpenny than on the Seeker Needle, but that's okay. Still, we get that 1 capture out of it. It's an artifact. It's a weapon. When you action it, you deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, you gain an amber. And obviously, that is a nice combination with Radpenny because you play the Radpenny, steal 1, use the Seeker Needle to destroy the Radpenny, gain 1 for doing that, and shuffle the Radpenny back in so you can play it again later. That's a really nice setup. That's really the only thing so far that I've seen we'd want to use the Seeker Needle for. You could, plink an enemy creature to get value out of Sagittarius Gaze, or it can be really nice. I mean, if you have a Seeker Needle and your opponent's playing AOA, drops, can't think of it. 1-power creatures are going to play Ready Omega. You can kill it with the Seeker Needle, be done. So decent spot removal there. And overall, I think I'm liking the creature control options so far in this deck. Would love to have a Fangtooth to round it out. Shoulder Id is a 6-power Spectre with Taunt. It can't fight. When it would deal damage, it steals 1 instead. Anything we'd particularly care to protect? I guess the Faust. Maybe the Nexus. Tempting Offer. This is an interesting one. It's an action with an amber. It enhances with a capture, and when you play it, you return an enemy creature to its owner's hand, and if you do that, your opponent gains an amber. So if they have no creatures, or if they have like a ward that prevents it, then they don't get the amber. But if you do actually push a creature to their hand, they're going to get an amber for it. But in a lot of situations, you can find a good use for this. Just don't play it if your opponent has an unwarded Infernus. All right, Masus Asp is a 3-power beast with skirmish and poison. Again, solid creature control. We're in 6 creatures in shadows already. Ransack. Okay, that's interesting. It's an action. When you play it, you steal 1, and then you discard the top card of your deck. If it's a shadows card, you trigger it again. Ransack, I mean, it's good for at least 1 steal, sometimes more. So it's an interesting card. I don't love it just because I feel like sometimes you discard stuff that you'd rather play, but it can still be good. Okay, Reckless Rizzo. That's an interesting one. That pushes us into 7 creatures for shadows, which I don't love. But put it behind the shoulder id. 1 power Elf Thief with elusive. Action steal 2, but then it loses the elusive for a turn. That's a good deal if you can keep it out. So potentially good burst seal there. Ooh, and then Finishing Blow. That's really nice. It's an action with an amber. When you play it, you destroy a damaged creature, and if you do, you steal an amber. And this is especially nice with the Seeker Needle because we can plink something for a damage and then finish it off with the Finishing Blow. And the small creatures can be useful for that too. So that's very nice. And then Shadow Council, another action steal 2, but that only works if it's in the middle of your battle line. But it always has elusive, so that's nice. It's 3 power Elf Leader Thief. So okay, but again, 8 creatures. Eesh. Okay, let's see what we get in Untamed. More creatures. Cephaloist is a 4 power mutant that says while you have 4 or more amber, your amber can't be stolen. That's actually a pretty nice effect. Yeah, and this one has a capture icon on it. So interesting. I don't think incredibly relevant. Got another Cephalos, this one unenhanced. Then a Fandangle, 3 power mutant witch that says while you have 4 or more amber, your non-untamed creatures interplay ready. That's interesting with cards like Shadow Council, Reckless Rizzo, and the Nexuses. So, I mean, that could actually be quite good. That could be quite good. We do have a Key Frog. Love that. Okay, it's a 2-power beast with destroyed, forge a key at current cost. So far, we don't have a way to kill it on our Untamed turn, but we'll see. We do have a way to kill it on, like, for example, a Shadow's turn, right? Seeker Needle, Finishing Blow. Unfortunately, the steal would happen after the destroyed effect would take place, but that's still potentially good. And in Saurian, we could kill it lots of different ways. Stomp, Technosaurus, Axiom. Okay, we've got Lost in the Woods. That's fun creature removal. It's an action with an amber. When you play it, you choose 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures, and you shuffle each chosen creature into its owner's deck. We would certainly like to use that on the Bonithing. Maybe the Radpenny if it happens to still be alive. Not bad on Technosaurus. Not bad on Faust, depending on the situation. Ooh, Rapid Evolution. That's great. It's an action with an amber. When you play it, you choose a creature and you give it a +1 power counter for each amber you have. I would like to see more amber, but this is a good way to protect the Fandangle, for example. And that puts us at 18 creatures in total, by the way, with the Key Frog. So really hoping to not get more, because that 18 is a lot. Savage Clash, interesting board control, just depends on the situation. Sometimes that's a discard, but still good in the right moment. Got 2 of those. Okay, that might be too much. Lumalu is a 4 Savage Clash, by the way, destroys each creature except the most powerful enemy creature and the least powerful friendly creature. Then we have Lumalu, who's a 4-power beast cat with Reap, gain 1 for each other friendly beast creature. Do we have a lot of other beasts? Keyfrog is. Cephaloist isn't, so. Mesa's Asp is, so that's interesting. People might not think about that. Technosaurus isn't. Galeotops is. Interesting. Some cross-house benefit there, I guess. Tremble is a 3-power mutant that gives each mutant creature skirmish. That could be really interesting in a against a non-MM deck, because there were a few mutants in here. The obviously the Tremble itself, the Cephaloist, the Fandangle, the Radpenny, who cares? The Technosaurus, the Dark Centurions. Faust isn't right now, so but quite a few in there. We're at 20 creatures. This is the 21st creature, and it means we're going to get a 22nd creature. This is a 22 creature deck. So that's going to be the problem with this. So anyway, this is Xenos Bloodshadow, a rare 4-power human witch with elusive, hazardous 6, poison, and skirmish. So strong presence on the board, but to what end? I mean, to what end? So I don't know. I don't love that. And lastly is going to be Toad, a 1-power beast that can't reap. That's actually a really nice target for Lost in the Woods. Not much good other than that. I don't know. Okay, I was liking this for part of it, but I think look how many Amber Pips we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Ransacks. Well, 6. 7, 8. I mean, that's it. 8 Amber Pips is not a lot. If the creatures can stay on the board, sure, that could be good, and there are ways to help the creatures stay on the board. Really, the Ancient Power, you can get some value out of the Dark Centurions. But I fear that it's not enough, that it kind of would it would fizzle a little bit. We'll see. Maybe we'll give it a shot anyway. I guess I should really quick try to load it up and see what the SAS is. My guess is that we're looking at something like, I mean, I think it's going to be maybe low 70s, honestly, because some of the cards are good. Maybe like a 71. That really might be overrating it, but let's see. Okay. You know what I should do in the future is like do the deck scan and then both out looking at cards and then look it up. I don't know. Sorry, that took a second. Let's see. So there it is in the master vault. Let's load it up in DOK. Really appreciate having the master vault show the enhancement placement. That's pretty awesome. And it's 69. Yep, that about makes sense. So it's a solid, interesting deck, but just not. I think it would struggle in many circumstances. If your opponent drops a single with something like this, if there's a Quixel Stone, it's pretty much game over because you're not going to be able to do anything. Anyway, okay, but that's still fun. I should give it a swirl one of these days, see how it goes. But that was the Swarming Outlaw of Lavavale. Hope you enjoyed and that you are able to find ways to get out there and forge some keys.